marketer before and is now a triple diamond with ASEA, has an international business, and has just truly become such a beloved member of ASEA. Alyssa, thanks. I just put the host controls over to you. So for those of you who are jumping on, I'm going to have Bobby tell a little bit of his story and why he engaged with ASEA and why he's with us.
Well, thank you very much. It's my honor and privilege to be here. Around faces that I know, and I like that. That's one of the nice things about this whole deal is that we get to meet so many great friends, and this weekend was just over the top fun. We started with Debbie and Jackie Wetzler on Wednesday, and we had them Wednesday and Thursday, and then Karen flew in, and we had a nice Thursday night, and then a all-day Friday, and it was just a great weekend. Best ever. A little bit about me. My family's been in healthcare 5 generations. I first saw network marketing in 1993. At that time, I owned 2/3 of a company that had over 1,000 employees. We had 9 nursing homes. And somebody showed me network marketing. And I knew that the leverage model was better than the one I was using. And 2 years later, I sold that traditional business to pursue network marketing. And Deni said I'd never done network marketing before. Well, that's pretty much true. I was in it for almost 25 years, but I never really did it much. I certainly didn't make any money at it, that's for sure. But
That's right. Tell us about multiple streams of no income or something, Bobby. How does that go?
That's Jerry's famous line. She said, and Jerry and I were not married to each other at that time. We were both involved in network marketing. She said, we spent 17 years creating multiple streams of no income. Some of you may have been in that same place. I don't know. But anyway, 7 years ago in April, we got involved with ASEA, and it's been absolutely the 7 best years of my life. We'd never been to Australia before, and in 2014, Jerry and I flew over there to help a couple get started, and today, 80% of our business, personal business, is in Australia. And just crazy, those kids created a 6-figure income in 9 months, working part-time. And in 18 months, they made triple diamond, and they're ambassador diamonds today. So they're a lot, they're higher ranked than we are, that's for sure. Anyway, that's enough about me.
Well, Bobby.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. So you guys, a couple things. So Bobby had been involved in network marketing before. So he also really understood the model of network marketing, and he believed that it was just such a great model. And when they engaged with ASEA, first of all, I want you guys to know that they're highly successful business people. But what really caught their attention, Bobby, what caught your attention about ASEA? What did you see that made you guys want to engage at this level?
Well, initially, we got involved because we had a family member that had a really serious health challenge. And we thought this might be good for him. In typical experience, he wouldn't try the product. He wouldn't use it. And but Gary and I started using it. And we both had some really incredible experiences with it. And a few months, I think we got involved in April. By July, Trish said, you guys need to come to Salt Lake City. Now, mind you, we didn't make enough money for ASEA to fly us in there. We flew ourselves in there. And it was really exciting as I look back over it, because we shared a limo ride from the airport to the hotel with Cindy Buck. And when we returned on Saturday, we shared a limo ride with Deni Robinson. So that was kind of exciting for us. But I'll tell you what happened to us at that meeting that blew us completely away. Jerry and I have heard Tyler Norton stand up and talk about putting principles and purpose ahead of skill and economics. I've never heard any businessman say anything like that. Whoops. Jerry and I certainly never ran a business like that. And we came home and decided to get to work. And the thing that got us really pumped was we'd done pretty well financially in traditional business, and still have good residual income from those traditional businesses. But we didn't feel significant. And as Jerry, if you want me to, Jerry will get on here in a few minutes. She's actually on with Bo and Cindy Buck right now doing theirs, and we're going to swap places here in a few minutes. But when I realized that I could help other people not only be successful with their health, but be successful financially, that really motivated me a lot. So in my traditional business, I was never able to help that many people do well. I love it when people say, is this one of those pyramid things? I said, no, it's more like a corporation. I said, in my corporation, I had 1,000 people at the base of my pyramid. I had about 25 in the middle. And over about a 30-year period, I was able to move one person to the top, my son. And I was able to move a few people from the bottom to the middle, but I was never able to do for them what we've been able to do for Justin and Nicole. Have them make way more money than we do. Mm-hmm. And Jerry used to, I'll let Jerry tell that part of the story, but it's so much more rewarding to be able to help people. I mean, I have people who hug my neck every week and thank me for saving their life. Mm-hmm. I never got that experience running nursing homes, I can tell you.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And Bobby, tell everybody, so this couple that you mentioned, they were in Australia. And as we opened Australia, we weren't, the liquid wasn't even there. They were able to build this very sustainable, fast-growing organization with only the Renew 28, right?
Exactly right. They only were able, and they still can't actually promote ASEA as a liquid. Mm-hmm. They have very strict regulations on what they can say about it in Australia. So they primarily built their entire business on the Renew gel. We went over there and told them they ought to use a tube a month. It wasn't a little while before they started telling us, no, it's a tube a week and maybe more. Because what we discovered was the molecules will absorb transdermally the same way they do sublingually in your mouth. These molecules go through the water channels of the tissue they touch. So when they couldn't get the liquid, they just used a lot more of the gel. And people got the same kind of amazing reactions and results just from using the gel. So they taught us a lot about it. And by the way, they're the ones that taught us how to use Zoom.
They are. I remember, you know what, Bobby, I was actually over in Austria when we had the very first Zoom meeting, and we were learning how to use this incredible tool that we're all on right now, which has helped us to have just global businesses. Being with Bobby and Jerry this last weekend, one thing that Jerry and I kept saying, and Bobby is, and they call this work, we're having so much fun, right? Being able to talk about that, Bobby, just about that being able to make a significant difference to people and have so much fun and blessed lives.
Well, it was so much fun that I didn't mind getting up at 4:00 this morning to hold people to the airport.
That's right. And
when I came back, Cindy was sitting on the couch and she wouldn't let me go to bed. I had to talk to her for a while. Finally, I told her, I said, I got to get some sleep. I got to go to bed.
Well, and you guys, I want to talk about Bobby. So many of you know about the story about when I started doing luncheons. Bobby just took that idea and they just ran with it in Albuquerque. And they've done it different locations, different ways, nights, afternoons, evenings, Saturdays, but now they're still holding 2 weekly meetings. And he's got leaders that do the events. And but let's talk about that thing that you mentioned the other day, Bobby, about when you bring people together who have different skills, right? Mm-hmm. It's how it makes such a strong team.
Yeah. When I was in Isogenics, I had a mentor there, and he was one of the most amazing people that I've ever known and still do. When he met me the very first time over the phone, he said to me, if you'll let me, I'll show you how to make your strengths productive and your weaknesses irrelevant. Mm. And I said, wow, that sounds great. How do you do that? He said, well, the first thing is I want to help you discover what you're good at. And then I want you to spend 80% of your time doing what you're good at. I said, well, what about all that other stuff that we got to get done? He said, Bobby, you want to find people who play at what you have to work at. And you create this team where everybody's working from their strength, which means it doesn't really feel like work because what you're good at is easy. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're really good at it. So you just do what you're good at. I mean, as an example, I'm no good at preparing PowerPoints. So what do? I find somebody in my business that is good at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, they may not be all that great about building the ASEA business, but boy, they're a wonderful resource for me when it comes to creating the PowerPoints that I need, or the flyers that I need, things like that. And, you know, some people are really good at follow-up. Other people are really good at mentoring and coaching. Find out what your people are good at and then get them to be working for the entire team from their strength. And you'll see things really change.
I love that, Bobby.
Well, let me tell you this, guys, and everybody's probably tired of me saying it, but I'm not going to stop because it's foundational to this business. It took me almost 25 years to figure out that people only do what they want to do.
Mm.
And if I talk them into doing something they don't want to do, they won't do it very long.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't talk to anybody about my product or my business until I know three things about them. I know what they want, why they want it, and how serious they are about getting it.
Oh, say that again, Bobby.
I find out what they want, why they want it, and how serious they are about actually getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you what's interesting. How many of you have heard us quote Zig Ziglar, who says, if you help enough other people get what they want, you can have everything in the world you want? You know the part we've skipped? It was the part about finding out what they want. It doesn't mean that if you help enough other people get in your ASEA business, you can have anything you want. You have to help enough other people get what they want. Well, what do they want? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that till I ask them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start a conversation with somebody, keep it focused on them until they ask you what you do. And then you give them just enough information so they'll be willing to give you their contact information, and you can set up a face-to-face meeting and get to know these people a lot better. Mm-hmm. And once I know what they want and why they want it and how serious they are about getting it, then I know exactly what resources to give them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, my job is not to tell you what you want. It's not to push on you what I think you need. It's to help you articulate what you want and why you want it. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Here's the three important questions. What do you want more of in your life? What do you want less of in your life? And how serious are you about getting it? Now, the number one answer to what you want more of in your life is time. Now, they really mean money, but unless they're really comfortable, they won't say money. That's too personal. They don't want to sound like they're not making enough money. So they say time. I say, okay, what do you do with that time? Well, I like to travel, or I'd like to spend more time with my kids. I talked to a young man just a few minutes ago. Justin, what do you want? Man, he said, I want to spend more time with my kids. I said, well, sounds like it might take some extra money for that to happen. Is that right? He said, absolutely. Then when I ask people, what do you want less of in your life? Number one answer, stress. What causes you stress? Number one answer, not enough money. I'm telling you, as Jerry loves to say, not sure how many people go to bed every night wondering if they have enough redox signaling molecules in their body. But I can tell you right now, there are millions of Americans that go to bed every night wondering if they'll have enough money to pay the bills and if they'll ever be able to sit down in retirement. Yeah. Now, if you can get them to articulate that, if you can get them to say that, and then you can show them how what you have can help them get what they already want, mm-hmm. You got a whole lot better chance that they'll stick around and actually help you build a business.
Mm. And Bobby, what's that statistic we were talking about? At age 65, only what, 4%?
The latest statistics I can find, because the U.S. Census Department's not real proud of this, I can tell you. But in 2014, January 2014, the U.S. Census Department put out this information. If you arrayed 100 Americans at age 65, now this is 100 Americans who have been in the workforce about 40 years. If you arrayed them, 1 out of 100 is wealthy. That's the Warren Buffett. Donald Trump. 4 out of 100 are comfortable. Jerry and I are blessed to be in that group of 4. We've accumulated enough residual income with our businesses that we don't really have to do anything. Okay? We're comfortable. Now, here's where it gets discouraging. 3 out of 100 are still working because they have to. That's why when you go to Walmart, you'll be greeted by a person in their 70s or 80s, or you look behind the counter at McDonald's, you see flipping hamburgers or bussing tables. Now, here's a big number. 63 out of 100 have to have some form of government or family supplementation to survive. And 29 just didn't live to be 65. How come in the richest country in the world, after 40 years in the workforce, can only 5 out of 100 people sit down in retirement? I'll tell you why. Because for the last 100 years, we've been teaching people to be employees or professionals. Both of those are on a linear income model where you're trading time for dollars. And I don't care how much they pay you per hour, you only got so many hours you can sell. It's not until you learn how to use a leverage model that you can actually create wealth, and where you can actually have time and money. Because remember, in the linear model, you're trading one for the others. More time, less money. More money, less time. You never can get it more, okay? All righty. Is that about all you need from me? You're muted, Deni.
I said that was fantastic. I said I'm certainly going to go back and listen to those recordings and write down some of those statistics. But Bobby, thank you so much. Is your beautiful wife handy? Is she right there?
She's going to come on. I'll swap over to their deal, and she'll come over to see you. So she'll be here in a minute. Thanks, everybody. Great to be with you. By the way, we're all invited to come to Albuquerque. We now have outdoor activities. We can climb, we can swim, we can swing, and we can try.
Yes, all at Tres Martin and Albuquerque. Thanks, Bobby. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to give a little recognition, you guys. So I know we spotlighted Eric and Kim last week, and they are now on their 4th back-to-back, right, Eric and Kim? 4th back-to-back, fast forward, and they will have planned on completing 3 in 1 month. And again, just all-out massive action, taking people through the process. Tell us about that for a second, Eric and Kim. How's it going? It's just, you're getting better and better, aren't you?
We're learning. Learn as you go. I think we talked about earlier, some people that we've had in the funnel for a little while, sometimes you have to just be patient and just keep putting info in front of them. Back off when you need to, put it back in front of them when they're ready. You think they are anyway. And we've gotten some that have converted from customer to associate that way. And, they've had their own good experience with the product, so they're motivated, obviously, to share that with others. Kind of the same mindset.
So, and are you bringing some of those people in as customers the first time, preferred customers, and they're transferring in a subsequent one to it? That's fantastic. Isn't that great? You get to count them twice. Well, many of you hear me say, that which we persist in doing becomes easier, not because the nature of the task has changed, but because our ability to do so has increased. You're getting better at it, and your numbers, your statistics are going up, right?
They are. It's taking less activity to get better results now, and I do like to keep a good eye on that, because I want to be the professional that can 3 or 4 out of 10 get in. So we are being very effective at the follow-up, and I think part of it is we're putting our money where our mouth is. One of the ones that was a PC, became an associate. Go get your blood work done, get your baseline. That way you'll be able to see it. 8 weeks later, he gets his blood work back, and 2 of these people have done this. They see it. Wow. Every marker they're looking at is shifted the right way. And that was 2 of the PCs that became associates, and one of the third one was Daniel's pediatric neurologist. She's looking at his EEG.
Yeah.
Yep, looking at his EEG. The first time in how many, at least a decade or more,
Yeah,
if
it's
ever,
been a long time.
that he had a clean EEG, no seizure background activity for Daniel, and the number we keep a seizure track log for years, and these seizures have went down by 2/3. And she's seeing him looking there, sitting there like he's so focused and attentive at his task, which he's typically not, because the EC is helping him be more concentrated, more focused, keeping better attention.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for the update. You know, I loved it. I talked with Eric today, and his question is like, why do they make me go slow with these fast forwards? I want to go faster. How many can I do in a month? Because you know you can only complete one in 14 days. So I'm sorry we can't shorten that for you guys.
That's fine. I'm glad.
I know. Well, hey, you know what? I had a gal, of course, all of you know Ray Dune Bone, who has the most famous neck in all of ASEA, and that's what she used to say is, why you make me go slow? I want to talk to a lot of people and sponsor a lot of people quickly, but I'm really proud of you guys. I want to take a minute really quickly. If we want to see everybody here, if you are a new person on this call today, would you just unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Do we have any new people on the call? Oh, all right. All I see is Boots. Boots, tell us who you are and whose group you are with and where you're dialing in from.
Hi, Deni. Nice to meet you. You helped me with a tax question recently. That's me. Hey, I live in Redding, California, Northern California, and I am part of Dr. Corrine Allen's group.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I've been taking ASEA for 16 months. And having awesome results, and I'm learning the business, and as of end of October, I started getting serious. I got to the point where my health could engage in doing the business.
That's fantastic. You know, we were going to have a testimonial tonight on the product. If you want to give us a quick product testimonial, we'd love that.
Well, I've lived with an autoimmune condition for 17 years. There was a time when I felt like I was in my 80s or 90s, and I'm 65 right now. But in recent years, I just wasn't able to get beyond a certain point, no matter what I did for that condition. And I knew before I was introduced to ASEA that there was something wrong on the cellular level, that my cells weren't able to receive this information and use it to my advantage for how much I was pumping into my body. So when Dr. Allen introduced me to this and I read the literature, I was on board right away. I knew I was going to try it. And within the first week, I was experiencing things like congestion leaving my head, foggy brain lifting. Overall, I think the major symptom relief has been the head issues, some joint issues. I've just written out, here's my list. I've got over 20 things. And I'm trying to, and I've looked at my journal for my health journal for the last 16 months and reviewed it all and compiled everything. And I go, okay, I need to get this down to 1 minute testimony. So I'm not there, but things like dental hygiene, eczema on my elbows gone. Physical endurance is a big one. Oh, breathing, I've got my lungs back. Full force. That's huge. Injuries.
Wow.
In my back, resolving, that sort of thing. Really great.
You know what? So what I encourage all of you to do is, of course, we're talking about the ATM. I encourage you to write out your own testimonial, what the product's done for you. You know, this is the way I used to feel. This is the way I feel now. And the most effective thing to do when you invite somebody to Healthy Self is to, of course, add them, tag them in the pin post, and then tag them in your testimonial, because you're the most important person to them at the time. And the nice thing is, what might take you minutes to tell them, when they can read your story, and again, it gets people's attention, and I would tag them in your story, and then tag them in the stories that are, relevant to them. As we're always talking, and Bobby we were talking about it earlier, is, be more interested than interesting. Become a master asker of questions. Find out enough about them, what their hot spots are, and watch what starts to grow. So you guys, I want to quickly, Jerry Martin, Bobby Martin's wife, has jumped on. Jerry had very successful, I think they owned, is it 50 convenience stores, Bobby?
52, actually.
52 convenience stores. She's a CPA, and they ran those for years. And she got really introduced to network marketing because probably for some health issues. But Jerry, tell us why you fell in love. Again, you guys were highly successful in traditional business. What was it about network marketing that really caught your attention, and then why ASEA for you?
So my first company was OxyFresh, actually, and it was a dental hygiene, and I still use their products.
I'm really good friends with Richard Bliss Brooke. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And my next company was Rexall, and that was we had a product that really reduced cholesterol naturally, which was awesome. And then my next product was Isogenics, and that's where I met Bobby. And so I came away from that company with a new husband. How cool is that? And then Bobby and I were introduced to ASEA by Trish Winkler. And, I love the industry. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. As an employer of women over the years, I've never seen a vehicle that allowed women to be paid not just equally, but more powerfully than men. Yeah. And then when we were introduced to ASEA, I mean, oh my gosh, you've never seen anything more impactful than this product. Bobby and I, we had a son-in-law who was ill when we were introduced. So that was our hook, was the product. And then he and I, of course, he was too smart for us. He wouldn't take the product. And Bobby and I both started taking the product. And in 5 or 6 weeks, we were, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I had never had that kind of sleep. So I love everything about the industry. It's so powerful. It's so wonderful. As an employer of women all of my life, women never get paid properly. Well, nobody ever does, actually. But this industry is the only industry that allows women to not have a glass ceiling.
We had a women's panel the other day, and Jerry and I were on it. And what we love about this, as far as women go, guys, we're including you too. But what I love about this younger generation is that we're empowering these younger women as well to think less about fitting into glass slippers and more about breaking glass ceilings. Yeah. And that it's really possible with whatever income level, that you're at, whatever age level, whatever your education level. I'll give you guys all a little giggle the other day. We were in Albuquerque, and I was speaking, and sometimes we laugh about me that I have a PhD, a public high school diploma, and by having a PhD, it has allowed us to get a MBA. And so we're going to make it anyway. So it was just all fun, and just to be able to make a living while making a difference, right, Jerry? There's just nothing better.
So, guys, in 2004, I told my sister, who I have since lost, and it makes me sad every day. I said, "You know what? I've met everyone I want to meet. I don't think I want to meet anybody else. In fact, I'm going to start forgetting some people I've already met." And so my favorite thing is, if you want to make God laugh, tell her your plans.
That's right.
Since then, I joined ASEA. I have a new husband. I had hundreds of friends all over the world.
Thousands of friends.
Oh, totally.
Thousands.
My life has been so enriched with this company and this product. I can't even tell you. So, it's one of those things. Don't define yourself.
Don't define yourself, right? And just be persistent, right, Jerry? So Jerry, sometimes people ask, so Jerry, you guys have been highly successful. Has everybody told you yes that you've offered the opportunity and product to?
Absolutely not. So Bobby and I have, and guys, get over this. Your families are not going to join you, pretty much. We have 4 brothers-in-law. 3 of them are doctors and 1 is a lawyer. The lawyers in our business. The doctors think we're idiots. So, give yourself the permission to just move on to the next people. Nobody gets it. Not everybody gets it. And I love the fact that Tyler Norton says, somebody says, my sister just won't try it. He said, well, don't talk to her anymore. Turn her loose. Your sister doesn't need to be in your business. So, Deni, has everybody in your family on the product?
Nope. And there's 7 children in my family, 6 living. My father always drank the product. I have a sister now on the product, but I've had a brother who'd been like, talk to the tan until your little saltwater company from Salt Lake City is FDA approved. And, I really don't want to hear about it. As Dr. Rob Ward, they used to say, it just doesn't work on your own DNA sometimes, you guys. And really, sometimes your family can truly be your cold market. And so just keep moving ahead, look for people who are looking for you, and watch what will start to happen.
And I also love the fact that we talk about the fact that if I just knew someone in Singapore, or if I just knew someone in the Philippines, sponsoring your own cul-de-sac, that's where you need to work.
Isn't that the truth? Everyone's out trying to prospect, but have you went next door to a neighbor and said, I don't know if you know what I do, and let me tell you a little bit about it, ask questions about them, and if it might not interest you, do you know someone that it might, It's all about prospecting. So Jerry, thanks again. I'll let you guys off for the evening, but it was just such a delight being with you this weekend. Can't wait to come do it. I won't let it be 4 years again.
Bobby took these guys to the airport at 4:00 this morning. You have to be exhausted.
It was a long day, but I can't believe that we get paid for doing this, for loving on people and making a difference. Thank you.
I was telling everybody I went to a fundraiser last weekend for a guy that I graduated from high school with that's running in for a congressional seat. And there were 8 lawyers at the table, all men, and me and another woman. And they went around the table and said, what was your career path like? They didn't ask me or Julie, either one, what our career path was like. And then I said, well, I'm a professional network marketer. And their little garage doors came down on their eyes, And I wanted to say, I retired at 49, you idiots.
I love that, Jerry. Really, thanks so much for jumping on tonight. Love you so much, my friend.
Good night.
I know we've got someone, Vicki and David, I know that you've got Dr. Rosie on here who's doing some amazing things. Why don't you guys tell us what's happening over there? So you might unmute yourself.
Thanks, Deni. Yeah, we're absolutely delighted that Marty Monroe enrolled Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and Rosie is full of passion about helping people. She has a very peaceful spirit, and she reaches out to us, and she's learning as her business grows, and she's very happy to share. And she just signed up a doctor who she thought was going to have questions, and it surprised her because he didn't have any questions. She just kind of signed up. So Dr. Rosie is on the line, and she'd like to say hi. So Rosie, come on out.
All right, I'm coming out. Here I am.
Hi, Rosie. Great to have you with us. I've just been hearing great things. And so, Dr. Rosie, what was it about ASEA that really attracted you to join us?
Well, Marty Monroe, who's a great friend of mine, was using it, and her testimony was awesome. We both had skin issues that I needed attention, and she said, here's what I use. And I just so trust and respect her that I just said, yes, I'll do it. And then it was the next step, which was like, okay, I can be a preferred customer, or I can receive commissions. That's how I had to see it. It's like I can be open to receiving commissions for people that I just can't not tell this to. So that was the way that I started. That was in August.
Well, and you've been getting some thank you checks in the mail, because I'm seeing your name flash across often with all the people that you're sharing it with, a new podiatrist as well. Congratulations.
So
And Marty, thank you for sharing the gift. And Marty, let me ask you this: did you have to present this to Rosie more than one time? Go ahead and unmute yourself, Marty.
Well, I used to walk across the street where Rosie was working and just hang out, and I think just showing up as somebody who's less 10 years older than her, riding on a bicycle and feeling healthy and spunky didn't hurt anything. And we both have kind of the same kind of skin that grows weird stuff. And I've had 6 years with absolutely nothing taken off of my skin for the first time in my life.
Wow.
You know, that kind of stuff. I didn't do anything like selling. I just showed up. That's all.
And it sounds like you made a friend and made a relationship, right? Which is always so important. You guys this whole business is about, it's relationship marketing. Make a friend, and when you ask enough questions about them, they're always going to ask questions about you. I'm going to spotlight one more person on the call here tonight, and this is Janetta. Janetta is a gold out of the Tennessee area. And Janetta is also a cancer survivor and has had quite a story. And Janetta, would you tell everyone why you got intrigued with ASEA and why you joined and what you've seen and why you just got so excited sharing the gift of ASEA?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes. And she's actually Dr. Corrine Allen's upline as well, who is at the new platinum below her. So again, you guys, what the great thing about it is when people say it's one of those pyramid things, everyone has such an incredible opportunity. You can outrank and out-earn your sponsor. And it's an incredible gift. So Janetta, over to you. Go ahead and tell your story.
Well, 23 years ago, I had a very aggressive cancer, and it was in my colon, my breast, both breasts and my colon. And I recovered, and one of the naturopathic physicians that helped me back then called me in 2013, and he said, Janetta, have you heard about ASEA? And I said, no. He said, I want you to check it out. I want you to get on it. I think it will keep your immune system really strong. And I said, but I don't want to take anything else. I'm taking the few, the vitamins you told me to take. He said, oh, no, this is different. I want you to check it out. I want you to get on this. So I checked it out. I got on it. And I had been drinking it 3.5 weeks. And it came time for me to go to that same naturopath for my checkup. And when he did all the testing on me, he looked at me and grinned real big. And he said, Janetta, you're absorbing nutrition better than I have ever seen in all these years. He pulled out my chart and started lining through some of the digestive enzymes, the herbs, and the vitamins that I had taken for years. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm taking you off of some of this. You don't need all of it. And I got a little scared. I said, but I'm afraid to go off of that. And he said, you don't need it. This really is making your immune system strong. You have better digestion. Everything looks fantastic. You don't need all this. I want you to keep drinking your ASEA. And my husband was with me. And I guess I can tell his story since he isn't here, but he was checked that day as well. And he had a calcium deposit, is what we'll call it, in the lumbar area of his spine that he had been very concerned about. The chiropractor was concerned, that same naturopath was concerned. And he had been taking some supplements to try to dissolve it. Well, it disappeared in 3.5 weeks on the ASEA. That calcium deposit disappeared. And we know for sure because the naturopath tested him, and then he went and had the chiropractor x-ray him again. He said, it's gone. I don't see it. So we were so excited. That's my story. And, I mean, I absolutely love it, love it, love it. I will drink it till I die. I drink 8 ounces per day because I'm a little over 60. And so I drink 8 ounces a day. I drink 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces in the evening. I'll drink it till I die.
Now, Janetta, Jerry, you're still on here. You're a CPA. Now, her husband's a CPA as well. So Janetta really didn't want to do the business. Tell the story about that portion, Janetta.
Yes. Well, I had dabbled a little bit in network marketing, but I'd never been successful. But my goodness, after we'd been we'd never made, like anything in marketing. So I didn't even know how the compensation plan worked. And so one evening, Jim says to me, my husband says, "Are you making any money with this?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I hadn't even looked at that. I knew it worked, and I was so focused on telling all of my cancer buddies about it. And I was afraid I would miss one of them, and they would be mad at me for not sharing it. So I was making sure they all knew. And so one evening we figured out how to get into Alan had told me how to get in, set up the smart wallet. So he got in there and he says, "Is all of this money yours?" And I looked and I said, "Oh, I don't know. They probably made a mistake." So we called Alan Bishop and I said, "Alan, is this our money?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to transfer this until I know for sure." So the next morning we called ASEA and I said, "Is this our money?" And they said, "Yes." So we transferred it. It was a great sum of money, but it was a great sum for us because we had never made any money. And so we set a new goal that very day. I'm not only going to share this, but it's building on its own. I'm just going to build a business with it. And so that's what my goal is now, is still to share with as many people. And my main thing is to help people get well, really. But I actually, it started building a business without me because I didn't even know what I was doing at first.
And that's the great thing. You didn't have to know how it all worked, right?
Right.
And I want to tell you all as well. So I live here in Spokane. I sponsored a guy in Tennessee who sponsored some people in Alabama, then into Texas and all over. And then Dr. Corinne Allen, who's a platinum, who lives in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, a half an hour from me, showed up in my organization. So that's the incredible thing about this. As hard as you try, you can't keep this in your own neighborhood. Right. And same thing has happened with people from, I've made it all the way to Norway, and we've got people over in the next city who are now here because of someone from Norway. But it just means you just need to talk with people, go talk with more people, be persistent, be diligent. And anyway, I hope everyone's had a great time here today. Does anyone have a quick question before we let everyone go? Jerry does? You're muted.
So ASEA sent me this interesting statement in the first quarter of this year, which helps me with my gross receipts tax. Interesting enough, 1.1% of my business in Austria, 17.6% in Australia, 45.9% also in Australia, 1.1% in Belgium, 0.3% in Canada, 0.1% in Germany. I don't know people in those countries, but my business is in those countries. How awesome is that? 7% of my business is in the Netherlands. Go figure. I am impacting people that I have never met.
That you've never met. And that's the incredible thing about this, is you will get to make a difference for people who will never know your name.
Yes.
And that's a pretty exciting thing when you start to realize that and to understand this leveraged income that we were talking about earlier with Bobby. So really appreciate all of you. And Alyssa, if it works for you next week, could you spend a little extra time on social media and share the screen with everyone? She did an outstanding job for our the Albuquerque event. It was really fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, and we'll get that recorded as well. All right, everyone, hope you have a great week. And for all of those, anyone else that we missed that's brand new to the team, welcome, welcome. And any new rank advancements, Director 300, Director 700, it's fantastic. And of course, Congratulations to our fast forward earners. That's how you start to go up in rank, maintain rank, and take others with you. So congratulations to you.
And Deni, make sure you tell everybody that Tuesday, the 29th, is the next one.
Yeah, next Tuesday instead of Monday, because Monday is Memorial Day.
Next Tuesday night, everyone. Okay, 6:00 p.m. right here on Tuesday evening, and Alyssa will be in charge of that one.
Thank you, Deni.
Have a great week.
Thanks, all.
Bye, Bobby and Jerry. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.